Hello everybody, you might have noticed a little bit of a change. I've renamed the channel. It's now called NerdDOTExe instead of being Secondary Herring. So yeah, here we go. Told you I was thinking of changing the name of it. I've done new channel art and everything, and hopefully I will have I'll do a new video soon of the name change and everything. But basically, my main family on The Sims, the husband is a bit of a nerd, a bit of a geek, and I made a restaurant that was called NerdDOTExe, and I just thought that it would be a good name for the channel. So yeah, but anyway, so today's video is going to be something a little bit different and something that I've not really ever done before on this channel. I have been playing on this game called Howrse since 2007, so in October it'll be 10 years that I've been playing on this game. I started on .com, which is the international server. There are different servers, like there's like the international one, there's an American one, there's an Australian one, there's a Canadian one, there's German, French. The French server is the original one, and there's two separate servers on that called Howrse and Gaia. There's also Spain, Portugal, Brazil, Israel, there's Ukraine, I want to say Italy, don't know that one is Sweden, Poland, I'm not sure that one, that was Denmark, Norway, I think is that one Denmark? One of those two is Denmark, but yeah, there's various different things. A little bit of background on it. It's owned by a division of Ubisoft called Lion, hence why it's called Howrse, like owl for Owl Lion. I only got that like a year or two ago. Helen slow on the uptake as per usual, but one of the main functions of the game is to breed horses and to breed the best horses that you can. Now, I joined the English server, which is the main server that I use now, in 2013. I was recommended to by a friend, and yeah, I started off breeding purebred Spanish horses, which is what I bred on the international server, but I've drifted away from doing purebred Spanish horses now, and I now breed French Trotters. So, and how long have I think I've been breeding French Trotters since I started. You can have these things called affixes, which are like little bits under the name, like for example that's my BLUPing affix. So I'm going to explain BLUPing in a minute, but my main affix is Chaleur Humaine. So yeah, I started it pretty much a month after I joined the English server, so I need to update that as well because that's wrong. But yeah, I decided to name it Chaleur Humaine, which is the name of the album by Christine and the Queens. Chaleur Humaine translates to human warmth. If it's like for the purebred Spanish horses, I wanted the affixes to be Spanish. So my affix for the purebred Spanish horses is Olimpo Hokkaido. El Olimpo Hokkaido. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that basically means Olympus has fallen in Spanish. And like I said, Chaleur Humaine is French, and that's my French Trotter affix. So these are all my affixes and stuff, but the main one I use is the Chaleur Humaine one and the Need Wind BLUPing thank you affix. So like I said, the main function of horse is to breed horses, oddly enough, and to breed the best horses that you can possibly breed. Every horse on the game, every breed, started off at 350 genetic potential, which is like the breakdown of the least skills that they can have. And I'm going brain, please work. It's the skills that they can have, and you increase the genetic potential by breeding your horses together that have positive 100% BLUP. So this is my current foal that I'm BLUPing. I'm also in the middle of BLUPing her twin here. I'm further on BLUPing her twin though, but I was partway through and I thought, oh, I could record this on my YouTube. So yeah, so I'm currently BLUPing her twin. And if there's various modules and stuff, I'll go through those as we go through it. But down here is the genetic tab, and here you can see her genetic potential, which is 2151.70. So that is all of these skill points added together. So stamina 363.93, speed 447.94, etc, etc. And then you can see her origins, so her father and her mother, what breed she is, so whether she's purebred or she's like mixed breed, and then these are your stars. So that's, I don't know exactly what each star means. I think it's, yeah, so each red star is 10 and each green star is 1, and these improve as you improve the genetic potential. So just a warning as well, I've been having issues with my internet recently, so I might end up pausing and like re-recording and pausing and re-recording if it starts having issues. And also, if you can't tell, I do have a little bit of cold, so I will be prone to coughing fits. So anyway, I'll try and edit those out though if I can. So as I was saying, your BLUP, which is your, I had to leave it up, I can't remember what it was, best linear unbiased prediction. Your horse has to be up here positive 100 BLUP to get the best genetic and skill gains for its offspring. So if you have it like up here, so like 50%, positive 50, then your horse will get less skills and less GP gain, if that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing to get your head around, I'll admit, but once you get your head around it, it does just go like and just fall into place. So how you get positive 100% BLUP is your horse has to be at least 10 years old, it has to be bolded, so these skills here have to be bolded. So if I show you an example, we'll go for Hirondelle. So all her skills are bolded, so if you look, though that's in a bolder font than these are. So the three best, or the three skills that your horse is more skilled in have to be bolded, so you have to fully finish the rides, which are the forest and mountain. Once you get to 5 years, you also get the beach, and it also has to get full training, so training in the 3 categories, and you can see the 3 categories because we've got like an arrow of the 3 like skill things. So the skills that horses can have on horse are stamina, speed, dressage, gallop, trot and jumping. For French Trotters, the 3 skills that you need are speed, dressage and trot, unsurprisingly since they are French Trotters. Anyway, so your horse has to be bolded in the 3 main skills, so it has to be bolded speed, dressage and trot. Your horse also has to win 20 competitions. It has to come first in 20 competitions, and you can start doing competitions from 3 years onwards until it dies. So yeah. Your horse can start breeding from 2.5 years onwards, and training is from 2 years onwards until you've finished it, and the rides are from a 1.5 years onwards. For forest rides, you get dressage, gallop and jumping, and for mountain rides you get speed, stamina and trot. The beach, when you unlock it when your horse is 5 years old, you can take skills get them from trot and add them onto another skill. So for example, gallop. So like you could say like her trot is currently 185. You could take off, or you could take the 5 skills off trot and you can add them to gallop so that it would be 51. So you need to, or you can register your horse in an equestrian centre. You can own your own equestrian centre. So I'm going to pop my horse here into my, I need to set the skills thing down so I can actually put her into my equestrian centre. But you can put your horses in your own equestrian centre or in somebody else's equestrian centre. So yeah, let's modify that again. Bish bash bosh. Okay, so she's in the equestrian centre now. She is currently 1 year and 4 months. I am partway through her foal games. Your horse can start doing the foal games from 8 months onwards, and you start putting them in the equestrian centre from 6 months onwards. The foal games last until 1 year 4 months, and the foal games are mainly to get extra skills. So I've got all of her extra skills. So this probably isn't the best example to be using to show how I do my foal games. So I'll use a different one for this. A different one that's actually reasonable. I think she's the best one of the lot. So I will still be BLUPing her twin and stuff. I just want to show the full games. So basically what I do is I just do all the actions and then age her up. You can either wait for your horse to be aged when the game updates at 4 AM, or you can spend an aging point to age them up by 2 months. Either way, as long as you put your horse to bed, so as long as you click this, your horse will be put to bed and it will age. So up until 6 months, your horse still lives with its mother. And then you can start putting it into an equestrian centre on its own. So as you can see, he is currently 6 months old. So what I do for my horses when they're born, I name them FT for French Trotter, / then either M or F for male or female, their genetic potential, and then the number of stars that they've got. So with the affix that I've got, the need wins, BLUPing, thank you. Touch wood, in theory, players should see that and like help you out and stuff with wins, but in all honesty, from my experience, they don't help out at all. Players typically are just very like out for themselves and stuff, or out for their teams or their friends. You can, if you're a VIP, then you can have teams. So you can have your team set to breed a certain breed of horse, and you can also have team affixes. I did have for God's sake, go away, Siri. I did have a team for a while, but I couldn't keep up with paying for the VIP. Excuse me. so I didn't end up keeping the team, obviously, and nobody did actually join it, so it was just me. So if you want to add me as a friend, by the way, on the English server, my username is ObligatoryCookie. I'll have that over there for a while. You can see how to spell it, or whatever, I don't know, suit yourself. So yeah, so, oops, that's the wrong course. Probably should get rid of that. So now this is how I do my foal games. What I do is I add. You can get these things called black market items, which are items that you buy with passes or you earn in events. Like the two that I use, Floaty Stroke and Achilles Heel, you can only get in events or from other black market items, like for example the Horn of Plenty, which is sort of like a grab bag of items for a pass, and you pay for passes. One pass is typically like £1.20, but you can buy 10 for a tenner, so it's like £1 a pass basically. So I usually use, there's like different ones. There's Apollo's Lyre, which you can customise your horse's name, Philosopher's Stone to make your horse immortal, etc, etc. I usually use Floaty Stroke and Achilles Heel, because when you stroke your horse gains energy. I know, that's weird, don't ask. Don't ask how your horse can gain energy from being stroked. Anyway, and I also usually use an Achilles Heel. The Achilles Heel can let you put your usually you have to put your horse to bed with at least 20% energy and before 10 o'clock. But the Achilles Heel allows you to put your horse to bed right up until midnight, because the day starts at 8 AM and runs all the way to midnight. So you can basically train your horse for as long as you can, or like physically can. And you don't have to worry about the energy getting below 20%, because if your horse's energy goes below 20%, then it's not going to have as much energy for the next day. And also if it goes below like 15 or 10% or 5%, like down the really low end of the thing, then your horse can unfortunately end up dying. But you can get, oh bollocks, pardon my French, you can get Pandora's box, which will let you bring your horse back to life. So what I do, I started doing it then, like just subconsciously. What I do is I do a full, because some of it's greyed out, some of it's coloured, so you can only do up to coloured point. So I usually do as much as I can with the energy that the horse wakes up with, and then I do the carrot, do the stroking, do the drink, and usually overfeed. So it needed 6 and I gave it 20 just to give it the extra energy, and then I do the foal games again with whatever's left. And as it goes up age-wise, you get more time and more skills for each one that you do. And there is a total, I think, of 60 extra skill points that you can do maximum with doing the foal games. So if it starts telling me that she's too fat, which is a little bit harsh, but if it starts telling me that she's too fat, then I don't feed her anything for that aging point, and I just do what I have. There are different methods and stuff to BLUPing and different methods to doing the foal games. You've just kind of got to find what works for you. Also, if your horse does get too fat or if it gets too skinny, then obviously its health goes down and its energy also starts going down until you get it back to the weight that it should be. But like I said, there's different ways of doing the foal games and there's different ways of BLUPing. Like, I mean, Howrse is a community of I think like 7 million people or something, so everybody's going to have their own different methods for BLUPing and for foal games. but this is just the way that I found it works best for me. And I can use. Oh, hello. Why? Why? I gave her the thing still because she got the energy. I think it's just being silly. I'll refresh the page. But yeah, I can usually get the full 60 skills by 1 year, 2 months. So which is like 2 months before the horse actually turns 1 year, 4 months, which is the last time that you can do the foal games. Sometimes it runs over. It depends on like how much I've overfed the horse or how much energy I've had to play with and stuff. But typically, oh, you numpty Helen. What an absolute no-no. I did all those, didn't I, before? See, sometimes I just do stupid stuff like that, and that also kind of scuppers my my foal games. So, because Helen doesn't know how to engage her brain. But there we go. We knew that anyway. The thing which kind of takes the longest with BLUPing is getting the wins, because that's dependent on what competitions you get and stuff. So I'll switch back to this horse now that I've finished showing you how I do the foal games, since this is actually the horse that I'm meant to be BLUPing. But yeah, depending on how quickly or easily or whatever you can get the competitions, then it can be like, the fastest I BLUPed a horse was like 2 hours, because I just got really, really lucky with the competitions that I got. So yeah, it just varies depending on what competitions are available and stuff. I've found the best times to do the competitions is either afternoon at the weekends or evening, because that's when most people are active, because most players are younger and stuff on here, since this is technically a child's game. So now that she's 1 year, 6 months, I can do the rides. So what I do is I do the rides up until she hits 2 years old. So, and I alternate them. So this aging point, I will do the forest. So I did the full thing that she could do with her energy. So I'll do what I did with the games, and I do all the various things that I can like do and stuff. You also get these things, by the way, which are called UFOs, which are kind of annoying but kind of useful, because they can like that's a saddle UFO. But yeah, once your horse hits 1 year, 6 months, you can then give them oats, which are extra food that you can give them for extra energy. So, which is ridiculously useful. And then once they hit 2 years, you can give them mash, which gives them even more energy and also extra health. So this aging point, I've solely done it with the forest ride. The next aging point, I'll just solely concentrate on the mountain rides. And then the next one will be the forest, and then the next one will be the mountain, and then it'll be the training. So I'll get her onto the training and stuff, and oh, you numpty Helen. Jeez Louise. I'm concentrating on talking. See, this is why things end up taking longer for me and stuff, because I end up doing stupid mistakes like that. So I'll get her ready to do the training, and then I'll show you from there and stuff from the training. Okay, she's ready to start her training. Not entirely sure how good of a job I'm doing at explaining this whole thing. I mean, like I said, BLUPing is complicated and stuff, and it does take a while to get your head around. So, another thing that she can do now, which I completely forgot to mention, which I don't really do until they get older and stuff, is the missions. And you can either do lessons or missions specific to what materials the equestrian centres produce. A year or two ago, can't remember when, they added the function of you being able to choose where your equestrian centre is based. So whether it's based in a mountain, a forest, or the beach. The mountain, you get stone. The forest, you get wood, and the forest, you get sand. And you use those materials to build like stable or stalls and various things that your equestrian centre needs. So my equestrian centre is based in a forest, so the material you get from my equestrian centre is skidding. You do get skills from doing missions, but the skills are very negligible and there's not really that much point in doing them. So anyway, what I do for the training, like I said, you can do the rides and the training all the way through the horse's life until it gets the full skills that it needs. You can still do the rides and everything after it's got the full skills that it needs and stuff, but there's not really that much point in doing it. The only ride that can still give you skills after it's got all of its skills, it doesn't really give you skills, it just lets you swap the skills around, is, like I said, the beach one, where you can like swap skill points around and stuff. So there are 6 skills that you can do, and you age your horse up 2 months at a time. So what I do is I do 1 skill per raging point. So I'll do stamina until she's 2 years 2 months, speed until she's 2 years 4 months, dressage until she's 2 years 6 months, etc, right up until she's 3 years old, and then she can start entering competitions. Dressage is different to the others because dressage takes 5 energy or 5% energy per half an hour of skills that you can do. So you can do what with a full bar of energy like that, the 94%, you can do like 10 hours of dressage a day, but that sort of decreases the amount of dressage that you can do since you have to put your horse to bed by midnight. So all I do is I just do like I've done with the rides and stuff. I do as much of each training thing that I can do, and then I do like the grooming, the carrot, the drink, the 2 lots of stroke, and give them the full amount of food that they can have. And then I just do whatever is left energy wise for the rest of the day, and then just do, oh bother, I forgot to do the mash, darn it. So this is what happens. I end up messing things up and stuff. So maybe you shouldn't be coming to me for advice on BLUPing. But yeah, so I just basically do this until she's 3 years old, so then she can start entering competitions. Once she's hit 3 years, I do add a little bit on. I do a little bit more speed training and stuff, and I also do a little bit more galloping, but I'll explain why I do that more when she's ready to do the competitions and stuff. Have I given her the mash this time? I've given her the mash this time. Good. Well done, Helen. 10 gold stars. So yeah, so this is basically all I do until she's 3 years old. So I'll pause it here. I'll carry on with the training until she's 3 years old. I'll just show you the dressage first. So see, she can do 10 hours of dressage. With the dressage, I do it a little bit differently. I don't do all of the things that you can do to get like energy, just so that I do have more time to do more stuff for them. So, but yeah, I'll come back to you after I've finished doing the training. I'm nearly there anyway, so I'll come back to you after I do that, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I just finished her training, and now you have the option to do competitions. So you can choose what speciality your horse specialises in. It can either be classical riding or western riding, and you could change your horse's speciality up until 5 years, I think it is. I pretty much just solely do classical riding. Excuse me. But like I said, just do classical riding, which is like dressage, gallop, trot, show jumping, and cross country. So in order to do competitions, your horse needs equipment. She needs to be equipped with at least a classical saddle blanket, a classical saddle, and a classical bridle. Now, there are 3 types of tack that your horse can get. There is 1-star tack, 2-star tack, and a Poseidon pack. The Poseidon pack is a BMI, so you do have to either pay for that with passes, you can win them in the promos, or you can trade them on the market. So you can offer 1-star tack, like the 1-star classical saddle cloth, 1-star polar wraps, or 1-star ear bonnet in your equestrian centre. You can offer either 1, 2, or 3-star classical saddles or bridles from your equestrian centre as well. And the same applies for the Western tack as well. So with the 2-star tack, you get colour bonuses. So there are different colours of the tack that you can get, and you get the 2-star tack from the promos and stuff. So if you have everything from one particular colour, so let's say if you have everything from white, you get a colour bonus. You don't need to put polar wraps or an ear bonnet on your horse, they're optional, but they do add bonuses to the skills, because the better the tack, you get more points towards your skills. So I'm not going to use any of my normal tack, I'm going to put a Poseidon pack on her, because I do have a Poseidon pack that I can use. So the Poseidon pack is 3 passes, and you get the Poseidon saddle blanket, Poseidon saddle, Poseidon bridle, Poseidon polar wraps, and the Poseidon ear bonnet. So basically it's just all like turquoisey blue tack, and it gives a bonus, as you can probably see there, of +6 on all of your horse's skills. So like I said, I do usually do some extra speed and some extra galloping training just before I start entering the competitions, because the main competitions that I start entering mainly for the wins, rude, thank you for honking, is gallop. Probably should mention this as well. Another way that you can get skills is from doing the competitions. So you need to enter your horse into all the competitions that give your horse skills, the 3 skills that your horse mainly needs. You need to enter those. So for the French Trotter, you'd need to either enter trot for the trot and the speed and the dressage, gallop for the speed and the dressage, or dressage for the dressage or in the trot. So I'm going to do the remainder of her energy on on some gallop training, and then I'm going to start entering the competitions. So I'm going to start entering the competitions now. So I'm going to enter into a gallop competition. So as you can see, for gallop, your horse needs gallop, speed and dressage, and the amount of energy that it will take for your horse is shown here. The amount of people who've entered are here. There are a maximum of 5 horses that can enter a race. You can see the participants here, the difficulty of the race here. Alright, apologies for that. My dad came into the room, he wanted to talk to me about something. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so this is the kitty. So that's how much Equus, which is the free in-game money that there is for the whole of the competition. So obviously first place will get more money than 5th place. And then this is the name of the competition. If the competition has a this like little horse head symbol, then that means that it is a competition for beginners. And I can't remember. I think it's like I can't remember. Your horse has to be it can't be above a certain amount of skills in order to enter into a beginners competition. I think it's a certain percentage of however many like skill points it could have. So let's say its skill GP for trot is like 1,000. It can't have like say or it can't enter into a beginner competition if it's like more than 60% of that or something. I don't know. I can't remember for exactly. So anyway, I'm going to enter into this competition here. It's got one person left to enter, which I'm going to try and nab that spot, provided nobody's got into it while I've been twittering on. So, and then this is pretty much all I do. I do the competitions up until the point where I'd start doing all these, and then I either finish off the aging point with doing another competition, because competitions take 2 hours to do. So I either finish that off by doing another competition, or if there's not enough time to do another competition, then I'll more than likely do the rides. I do either the training or the rides, but it's probably the rides that I'm more likely to do, since these are more definitive amounts of skills, and these give more of like a balanced amount of skills. Like I say, this gives you skills for like one skill. So like you can't do dressage and speed at the same time, but with the rides you can like get dressage and speed at the same time, if that makes sense. This explanation has been like all over the place. So I'll just demonstrate what I do and stuff, and I'll enter a few competitions and get to that point. Hopefully, touch wood, she might have won that competition that we just entered her into. Oh, she came second. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. And she came second in that dressage competition. Her twin already has 2 of her wins down. So, like I said, how quickly he can do the competitions is just it depends on who or like what competitions are available and stuff, and how lucky you are with the types of competitions that you can enter. So what I was recommended to do by somebody was you can change which, because currently I've got it set to the amount of participants, but you can also do difficulty, so lower or higher difficulty. I think that's it. You can't, I don't think, no. Oh yeah, you can do it with Kitty as well. So you can do like the lower and the higher amount of money. So like I said, I usually do it with the participants and stuff, and I mainly try and do competitions that have either 3 to 1 people left to enter, and I try and do it so that they're beginner competitions, and I do try to get them to be like lower difficulty ones, but you can't always get the lower difficulty ones if you catch my drift. So, excuse me. So like for example, there's not enough time to do another round of competitions, so I'll just do an hour's forest ride with her, and I'll do this up until I get her 20 wins, whenever that may be. Might be before she turns 10, might be after she turns 10. I've been really lucky though recently, and I've been able to get most of the competitions done by the time that she's like, or by the time that the horse is like 6 or 7. So, and then I just spend the remainder of the time getting her up to 10 with finishing off getting the rides and getting the training done. So that's pretty much it for how I do my BLUPing. Sorry it was a bit all over the place and stuff. I'm not very good at explaining things. I end up getting distracted with different things and going off on tangents and everything. So, but I don't think I did that bad a job. But like I said, this is just the way that I BLUP. I mean, other people BLUP differently and stuff, but this is the way that I found that works for me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope that you're liking the name change and stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.